This is my M1966 Jungle Hammock. It is in an old tent bag, and it has a sewn-on mosquito net. It has a tarp in there as well, and also the gear to hang the hammock with, and some aluminum tent stakes for convenience to stake the tarp down. I'll be reviewing this hammock today, and I hope you enjoy. Thank you. Now the entire hammock tarp setup only weighs 4 pounds. Now one of the things you want to do when you hang this hammock is you want to go around the tree twice, and then you take this right here, you loop it through, and you make yourself a slip knot. It holds just fine, it's not going anywhere. And I'll leave a long tag, and then to get it out, all you do is pull this rope right here, and it releases and the tarp falls down. So you can leave camp in a hurry if you have to. And this is just the first step of hanging up the hammock. Now I keep all my gear to hang the hammock in this little bag right here. And in this bag, open it up, what we have is we have one of the straps and the webbing right here. It goes around our sticks, and it is just sewn on really well on both of these right here, and this just got a bowline knot tied right there. And then on each end, what we have is just a slip knot that goes around the sticks so that I don't have tiny knots. And these are both evenly spaced, so that what happens is, and then you just loop it around the sticks like so on each end, and it sort of makes that for you, and you don't have to tie anything, you see? So it's really fast, and I like that. The other thing that's in the bag is these aluminum tent stakes right here. Now I used to make my stakes out of wood, and I quit doing that after I got rained on a few times, and it's just easier to throw this tarp up and wait out the rain than it is to actually put a poncho on and keep on going. That's just not fun for me. So I'll just put my tarp up and listen to my radio that I carry and have a nice day and sit around and, you know, enjoy myself instead of being miserable trudging on. Because usually the rains in my part of the world, they end within about an hour or two, and then you can keep doing whatever you were doing before and the sun's out again. So yeah. And then the only other thing in here is another one of those straps for the other side. So in my bag we have the two straps for the trees. This rope right here is from 1964. It still lasted, so it's still good. It is woven nylon rope. I tried paracord, and paracord does not work. Do not use paracord. It's too stretchy. You want something that's, I believe the term is static. It doesn't stretch. This stuff does not stretch. It'll break before it stretches, but it's plenty strong enough and was used by the Army for years in Vietnam. It's wonderful. So we have 6 tent stakes from Walmart. These are very lightweight, and if they bend on you, you can bend them back. That's important. And it all goes in this one little bag right here. Okay, let's set it up. Now I did all my sewing with this Power Pro 40-pound test from Walmart, and the reason I use this stuff is that it's braided fishing line right here. You can barely see that, and it is wonderful. It's 40-pound test with a 10-pound diameter, which means that I can thread it into a regular sewing needle. This is an embroidery needle. Probably not going to be able to see this, but it has a long eye. See if the camera will pick it up. No. But yeah, that long eye is handy for threading it because you don't have to be as accurate when you're putting your needles. And how I do it is it's automatically double stitched because I thread it through on one end, and then for the other end I tie a bowline. This is a bowline right here. So that means that it's two separate threads, one on the left and one on the right, so that when I put it through, it stops right here, and this is all you'll be able to see, and that knot on the end keeps it from sliding through. And then on the other end, when I stitch it, I'll tie 4 fisherman's knots in a row, and that won't come out ever. And if I really paranoid, I'll put a drop of super glue on it, and then that will never ever come out, and I guarantee the only way you're going to get it out is with a pocket knife. So yeah, very nice system of stitching right here. And I always keep some of this thread, if you call it, it's actually fishing string, with me, because it's better. It's even better than monofilament. It actually looks better. I mean, you can sew with this 15-pound test. It comes in a 500-foot spool, but you won't like it because you can actually see it real easy, and it's kind of, if it rubs against your skin, it causes abrasions. This stuff won't do that. This stuff is much better, but it's also much more expensive. This 300-yard spool right here was $24, but I didn't pay for it because I found it in the dumpster. So yeah, okay, thanks, bye. So once the tarp is up, this is what it looks like, and it's just staked to the ground right there and on the other 6 places. And one thing I did on the edges and on the top is I reinforced it by adding some Permatex, which is this blue stuff right here. It's a blue gunk you get at the store. It's for making gaskets. And I put that over my stitches, and then I super glued a piece of old hammock that I had laying around. This is parachute nylon, and I didn't really cut it square because I wanted it to help break up the profile of this big piece of camouflage, like I did right here. And it gives it a really nice effect, because when you have this digital camo broken up by woodland camo, you really sort of look right over it when you're staring at it, and that's really nice, especially with the way I did it right in the middle, where it just creates that spot to draw your eye, except it's brown, so it draws your eye right over the hammock, and that's really cool right there. I spent a lot of time thinking about that, and it works out quite nicely. Now the next thing you want to do is go out in the woods and cut you a sapling. It can be dried wood like I have here that's been hanging up in a tree and has dried as hard as a 2x4. But you can get a sapling like as big around as a quarter, and that'll hold. Or you can go as big around, if you can't find any saplings, as your fist. And that, when that dries, it's rock hard too. But you know, just green wood is all that I usually use. I just have this dried wood for convenience, just hanging in my hammock in my backyard. And to get my wood, the knives I usually take will be a cold steel kukri magnum, which is great for clearing brush. And I've modified my kukri magnum by sewing on this hip strap right here to keep it from flopping around, and a belt buckle strap right there, and also the cold steel Gurkha kukri, which I've modified the same way. They said it came factory with the belt strap, and I always keep duct tape on my knives because it's a great place for it. But yeah, either one of those 2 knives will cut your saplings quite nicely. This one's a lot lighter and only $20. This one's pushing 300 and works as good as an axe, but this one will definitely do, and you don't have to care about it as much. Plus you can sharpen it with a file. So once the hammock is hung up without the mosquito net tied up, it just looks like that. And of course, that's just that stitching I use. Just stitch the hell out of it, and a couple of sticks, and then just around the tree, and a half hitch slip knot, and you're done. So Now it's time to hang up the mosquito net. So this is what the hammock looks like when it's all set up. One thing I like about this 1966 Vietnam jungle hammock is that you can hang it extremely low without it touching the ground, because of the webbing system that I have on it. It only gives about 4 inches and then it doesn't go any farther. So that's just wonderful. Also, like the fact that I can take the mosquito netting and put it behind me so I can have an unobstructed view of what's in front of me. And yeah, other things I like are how your foam pad fits in here really nice, and it's like sleeping on an army cot. It's just that comfortable. So it's 4 pounds, and then I have my military sleeping bag, which is, I believe it's the Jungle sleeping bag that goes with the US modular sleep system. And then I sewed my own pillow. This weighs 4 ounces and it velcros open and shut, so if for some reason my polyester gets wet, I can use pine straw or something else, just like my jacket, to stuff in there. But yeah, it's nice. You need a pillow for the bridge hammock because it sleeps so flat, which I think is a cool thing, because I always like having a pillow. And this is made out of parachute nylon, so it doesn't weigh nothing. Now, the jungle hammock, you look right here, isn't made out of parachute nylon. It's made out of nylon canvas, which is really warm. So this hammock is warmer than most hammocks, and you can use a ground pad with it, and you can always get a big wide ground pad like the aluminum coated ones that Thermarest sells. Closed cell is what you want here, because closed cell won't break and won't pop, and the hammock is really comfortable, so that's like having an air mattress. It's really nice. I always sleep with earplugs as well, so I have my earplugs on here. So, you know, once again, this is the hammock under load with me sitting in it right here, and you know, it makes a really nice swing to sit here and listen to your music and just chill out and whatnot while you think about what you want to do next or where you want to go, or yeah, to have fun and live your life. But yeah, see how low that is right there? That's amazing how low you can hang this hammock. Your feet touch the ground when you hang it, and you sit in it, and it just doesn't sag much, and you can sleep on diagonals with it if you want to sleep even flatter. I've never had a problem. It's easy to fall asleep in. And the mosquito net right here that I've sewn on, going to the bottom right here, is attached with Velcro all the way across. And then I sewed that on, and there's Velcro on the net, and then it's got Velcro sewn on all the way across so that the net stays shut. And Velcro is just the way to go here for ease of sewing, and it just works really well. I had my friend sew it on with a machine. This pillow is all hand sewn right there. Other things on this hammock are hand sewn as well. So this is about 14 hours worth of work to get this hammock the way it is, with the tarp set up and everything, and the research. And you know, dreams become reality. It's just how it works. So yeah, that is my jungle hammock package, and I am Andrew, and I'm really happy to share this with you today, and I hope y'all have a nice day. Thank you very much. Please rate, subscribe, and comment. The parachute nylon super glued together with the Permatex, and the stitching will not break. One of the reasons I use 550 cord was widowmakers. If a widowmaker were to fall and try to hit me, the idea is that the 550 cord is strong enough to slow it down extremely, or to in fact stop it and just have it sit there on the cord and not crushing me. So that's a good idea right there, is to use 550 cord or something insanely strong like 1-inch webbing to hold up your tarp so that you don't get crushed in the middle of the night as you try to sleep. Thank you. One thing you don't want to forget when you sew your hammock is drip strings. This is just 550 cord right here, and it's just tied on right here, and it has a little thread through it so to hold it still so it'll never come out. And that keeps the water when it rains from running down here and then running down here and dripping my face. So it will drip right here and then drip off these drip strings harmlessly onto the ground. Same thing with this stretchy cord right here. It has these drip strings sewn on, and they're adjustable so that I can put them where I need them, and the water will drip onto the ground, and the tarp does the rest of the work. One thing you want to do when you get your hammock is to sew your own tarp, and to do that the easy way is just to do it just like I've done. It's just to get a piece of ribbon, sew it in the middle, coat it with Permatex on both sides, and then put a piece of material over it like this camouflage woodland parachute, and then put some super glue on your tarp and super glue it together, and that makes your tarp super strong and super resilient in the middle by having those two pieces of so it'll sound the same without the tip on it, right?
Probably not. A little bit close.